Everyone, and welcome to part 5 of F1 Challenge Career Mode. Today brings us to Catalunya, and we are looking for a very good result here after our win in Monaco. We're not expecting all those retirements today, but we're hoping that we can pull off a similar kind of result in terms of points. And you can see it's the old layout of the circuit without the new chicane, but I will now hand you over to the commentator who will give you the driver standings and the constructor standings.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Hakkinen first. Schumacher second. The Williams driver third. Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. McLaren lead the Constructors' Championship. Williams are second. Ferrari are third. Located just a few kilometers to the north of Barcelona, the superb Circuit de Catalunya combines medium-speed straights with an interesting selection of slow, medium and high-speed turns. This dedicated motorsports facility is a good example of modern circuit design and is highly rated by most of the teams, both as a race and testing venue.
Right, so we jump into practice and we're on our first flying lap, and I'm going to show you a highlight that I've shown in most of my other practice sessions, which is me smashing into a wall and losing my front wing. Now, this is my normal track extending time in practice, especially very early practice, where I literally usually drive into the wall. But I had so much understeer going through this corner, I was put on the throttle and I had it still on the grass and it just spun my car around. Then I hit the braking board, and then, yeah, so that's the end of that run. But on the next run, we are trying the same thing, still the same amount of fuel, and we are trying to get around this corner again, but we put too much throttle in the middle of the corner, then we correct it, and we overcorrect it, and then we're in the wall. Again, we've lost our rear left wheel and our rear wing, so that's a pretty bad accident, actually. I wasn't expecting that much damage when I went into the wall, but yeah, my car's not feeling very good around here so far. I may have to fiddle with a few settings as the replay just shows grey. I have no idea what happened there. But we're finally getting a lap together without going off the circuit. And you see that Schumacher set 25.8. And we're coming around the last corner. We've set 29.7. That shows how poor our pace is around here. Just unbelievable. We're jumping into qualifying now, where we're hoping that we don't set that kind of time. And we're on our first flying lap here, and we have gone past that dreaded corner already. But then we run right onto the grass here, and we've gone into a spin. We've hit the wall. Our rear wing is off. We will be able to get back to the pits to fix it, so it's all okay. But that's another mistake. That's what, 3 crashes so far. It's just really not a good sign for the race, and we need to iron out these mistakes, especially as we're in qualifying now. That should have been gone by practice. But we're going around the last corner for our first proper lap. We'll go without crashing, and we've set, what is it, 29.2, so it's better than what we did in practice, but it's still not great. And then we actually do another lap with a lot less fuel, and we do a 29.2, and then our fastest lap of the session came on the next lap, where we finally set a 28.9, so I'm now going to hand you over to the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Spain for round 5 of the 1999 FIA Formula One World Championship. Weather-wise, it's pretty overcast, with occasional drizzle making things very tricky out there. Schumacher consistently outpaced his championship rival, the Williams driver. Coulthard second. Ralf Schumacher was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts third. Mika Hakkinen fourth. Barrichello fifth. Frentzen sixth. Jarno Trulli seventh. Hill eighth. Eddie Irvine ninth. The Williams driver endured a lackluster qualifying session and faces a tough start in the midst of the chasing pack. He starts 10th. Villeneuve 11th. Olivier Panis 12th. Pedro Diniz 13th. Alesi 14th. Alexander Wurz 15th. Ricardo Zonta 16th. Fisichella, 17th. Takagi, 18th. Pedro de la Rosa, 19th. Johnny Herbert, 20th. Badoa, 21st. Mark Genek, 22nd.
Right, so we qualified in 10th place, which isn't too bad considering that's where we qualified in Australia, but our pace is a long way off of what we had in San Marino and Monaco, but we have the lights. And we are going, we finally get a decent start. Sure, it's not like where we're actually just jumping off the line at them, but we haven't been rear-ended by a McLaren or a Sauber, and we're slipstreaming Eddie Irvine into the first corner. We may get him on the brakes. We do get him on the brakes, and we get Damon Hill on the brakes, who gets stuck behind the Prost of Jarno Trulli, so that's positive news there as we look towards the end of the first sector. And we're going to try and look at Jarno Trulli here, but we just have way too much understeer. We can't put on the throttle as early as he did, and so that's ruined that chance. May I have a look here? Ooh, there is a space there, but I don't think we can actually drive into it without just smashing into it on the exit. So we hang back, and we may have a look into this corner, which we do. He brakes early. Nice and easy move. Seventh place for us now. So that's 3 places up from the start. We're 1 place away from a points position, which is Rubens Barrichello. Although I suspect Rubens Barrichello isn't the slowest of this bunch of 6. I think Heinz-Harald Frentzen is. So we have to hope that Frentzen falls back a bit and then pushes Rubens Barrichello into our grasp. And then we can try and get some points. But there's some cones flying across the track. I wasn't expecting that. I hope they don't damage any cars in the field. But yeah, so those cones are pretty smashed. But now we're on lap 4, nothing happened the next 4 laps, and due to the understeer, Eddie Irvine literally just goes up our inside because that understeer was huge. Couldn't put on the throttle at all. But we're going to try and regain the position through one of these corners, maybe even the position we overtook Jarno Trulli on. The AI seemed to brake a bit early for that, but no, we can't. We're too far back. That Ferrari has actually got some downforce, so it helps around this circuit, which is a downforce circuit. This Williams isn't feeling that well. My teammate definitely got more speed out of it than me. But then on the grass. And I think something happened here. I think that something fell off my desk, so I lost concentration and I went off. But I think, are we going to hit the wall? Are we going to hit the wall? No, we just about missed the wall. So that's good. And we haven't got any damage, so that's good. So we don't have to do an extra pit stop. Well, that's a pretty rookie mistake there, just being distracted. And then just literally running myself off the road, and luckily I don't hit the wall. I'm very lucky not to smash anything off. And of course, no, barely any steering on the gravel, but I just about managed to steer away from the wall. And then on rejoining the track, we're lucky not to get smashed by the Prost of Olivier Panis, who we're looking at the end of lap 5. We're down in 12th. We lost a few positions from that moment, or crash, or whatever you want to call it. And we're going to look at Olivier Panis. We can't get him into the first corner. We're putting on the throttle though, and looks like we're actually going to get him into the second corner. He's just very slow on the exit of turn 2, and we're trying to go around his outside. He's still on the inside, surprisingly. You can't see him, but now we've given up. But we're now past him. And then on lap 15, there's not much action in this race, I'm afraid, at the moment, so it's pretty boring. But on lap 15, you'll see our fuel is running down, and we're trying to catch Damon Hill, who's in 10th place, and Olivier Panis has fallen back. But going around the last corner, let's see what the lap time will be. And oh no, we've got a tank stopper going on. Are we going to hit the wall? We are going to hit the wall, and we've lost our front wing, so that's damage to the car. Have we broken off our rear wing though? Because that's the most important part, because it takes so long to replace a rear wing. So let's have a look. So I literally just put two wheels onto the grass, and then I smashed my front wing off. I hope I don't have suspension damage. I was very lucky to get away with no rear wing coming off, but Olivier Panis then goes around the outside of me, because obviously my understeer is even worse with no front wing. The understeer otherwise is still horrible. But going into the pits now then, and we're down in 12th with Alexander Wirtz 6 seconds back, although he will pass us obviously in the pits. So now pulling in for our pit stop, and it's going to be a pretty ordinary pit stop, I'm afraid. Nothing too exciting. Like almost every pit stop I've had so far in this game, there's a front wing replacement needed. I did have the fuel strategy perfect for this race, actually. Perfect 50-50, 16 laps. But unfortunately, I actually had 19 laps for this stint, so it looks like we're going to finish the race with a lot more fuel than we need. But on lap 20, I've caught up Ricardo Zonta, who's sitting in 14th place. Looks very unlikely we'll get points today. But we're going to look around the outside. No, we're not. He closed the door, but now we're going to look down the inside. I have no idea what turn number this is, but we have made the move pretty easily. And we're up into 14th place. Now, the reason we're 11th place now is because loads of cars pitted due to the fact that I think AI actually miscalculated its fuel, because even Michael Schumacher and the front runners miscalculated their fuel, so that might be something to watch out for in future Grand Prix. You may see the AI making really late pit stops, like with 2 laps to go or 3 laps to go, because they're running out of fuel. So that'll be interesting to see if that happens again. But we've got Olivier Panis all over the rear of us, and we've done the same thing we did before in practice, and we've hit the wall. Our rear wing is off, and our Grand Prix is ruined. It was bad anyway, because we're not going to get any points, which is disappointing, but I'm sure we'll bounce back in Canada. But yeah, you see, just get the wheels on the grass, hit the wall, and the Grand Prix is pretty much over for me now. There's really no point to carrying on, so I'm pulling into the pits to retire. There's actually a hill on the right hand side which I spin on. Now I really would like to hit 45 likes in this video. I know it's not been the greatest race, but I just want to carry on the support, so if you could do that, that'd be great. But we're now going to retire from the race, and I'll hand you over to the commentator.
After that fantastic Spanish Grand Prix, let's take a look at the final results. Hakkinen first, David Coulthard second, Schumacher third, Barrichello fourth, Schumacher fifth, Heinz-Harald Frentzen sixth.
Okay then, so Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard won, so it's a McLaren 1-2, and you can see that we are still classified down in 16th place with suspension damage, but our teammate only got 2 points, so that's okay.
Results confirmed. It's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Hakkinen moves further ahead in the Drivers' Championship.
Yep, so Hakkinen is still in first, and he's even further ahead. I am in third place with Rubens Barrichello on the equal points with me now, and David Coulthard has finally gotten some points and not crashed out the race. Marc Genet is near our teammate.
Further ahead at the top of the Constructors' Championship.
Yep, so we're still in second, but Ferrari are likely to overtake us. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's not been the greatest race, but I didn't have any pace. But I will see you in Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.